Good morning, captains, and welcome on board. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and in today's video we are back in the United States of America. We are currently in Los Angeles on stand number 38, and we're going to fly the Delta A321 over to Las Vegas. 40-minute flight time, some marvelous views await us, and of course some beautiful late summer morning weather. So let's go ahead and board our Airbus A321, and the first thing that I noticed while I went into this aircraft is that they do once again have a beautiful custom-made cabin inside over here. So especially the business class is actually made with proper business class seats in this livery. Again, really beautiful. I am gonna link it in the video description below so that you guys can have a look at it. However, that shall be it for looking into the cabin right now. Let's go ahead and get our Airbus ready, and we are gonna have another look in the cabin once we're actually in flight. So let's take a seat down here. November 331 Delta November is our ride for the day, and to start it up we make sure the masters are off, mode selector norm, weather radar is off, and the landing gear lever down. Wipers off, batteries can come on, and the external power can come on as well. Now let's give the aircraft a little while to start powering up. We are going to make good use of that time though, and import our Simbrief flight, scheduled off block in 20 minutes. Looking into the flight plan and the weather, Los Angeles currently few clouds, 16 degrees, and Las Vegas 18 degrees. As mentioned, it is early in the morning here, 7:40 just about. It is gonna get quite a bit hotter in Vegas later today with up to 38 degrees. Now, our alternate is once again Los Angeles, and apart from that, we don't really have anything special for this flight. So looking into our flight plan and into our fuel planning, I see no reason to take any extra fuel here. If we take those 13.5, that's more or less rounded up from the minimum, we should be absolutely good to go. So mass and balance, we are going to take 13.5 then. And remember, this is pounds to all my European friends, so no, the A321 doesn't weigh 162 tons, but 162,000 pounds is just about a perfect weight over here. Alright, we are going to use GSX for the loading, and while that is ongoing, we can go ahead and set up the rest of our aircraft then. At these temperatures, we don't really need the APU. Nonetheless, I am just going to do the fire test right over here. IRSs can come on, we can turn off the lights, we really don't need those. Here we go. Okay, so ACARS pre-initialization. Let's load ahead the flight number, please. In terms of the aircraft configuration summary, CFM engines, and we do have automatic nav on the go around. Apart from that, no specials. Okay, well then, let's go ahead with the remainder of our setup here. In the meantime, GSX has crashed in the background, so not a lot we can do about that.
Completely clear for taxi out and take off. Should you need assistance, we're in the cabin at this time.
Alright, so down into our preliminary performance then.
If you please let us know when we're in the aisles. We'd be happy to have you reseated. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
Okay, Los Angeles 24 left is correct. We'll synchronize the preliminary and the weather. No intersections here, so let's just take it straight from here. And once again, looking at rather high takeoff speeds in a config 2 setting, which is pretty much expected for the 321. So, oxygen is looking good, hydraulic quantities are looking good, and the engine oil quantity is looking good. Park and brake is set and shows flap lever agrees, and the speed brake is retracted. Okay, brake release. Check the alternate brake system, works just about fine, and park and brake is set again. Okay, beautiful. Then we can go ahead with our FlightX setup, and I think since GSX has crashed in the background, we just about need to go in here. Try that load aircraft one more time. Let's just do fast time loading over here. It's probably our best option, is it? Okay, The flight deck is easily set up, that's just a quick thing here. Still gotta refuel the aircraft, so nothing to do there just yet. Since we just powered it up for the day, battery check, and they are charging fine, as you can see on the amperage down here. Engine fire test. Looking good on 1, and also looking good on 2. Beautiful. So, unfortunately, we do get inches by switching over on the EFIS control panel. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that on our A330s. Would be too nice if it would, but well, we gotta live with what we have. So, Los Angeles, ATIS. Not available. Okay, too bad. Then we just gotta use the METAR, and we're looking at a QNH of 2987. Okay. So, that good stuff is looking good and going quick. So, Squawk 2000, and then let's go right into our FMS. So, A321-200 CFM engines, current database. Let's go ahead and uplink that flight plan. We are going to be the Delta Flight 2658. Cost NX 15, cruise flight level 270. So departing Los Angeles on runway 24 left, and we are going via the Orca 5 departure towards Meissen. By the way, that's some nice boarding music there, isn't it? I wonder if I'm gonna get a copyright strike for it, but it's part of the simulation, my friends. Okay, Las Vegas. We'll probably fly the visual approach onto 26 left. So let's just select the ILS in here. Arrival is... oh boy. I like to call this the Randazzo arrival. Number 2. And here it is. Alright, coming in from Meissen. Insert. So, Orca departure towards Dryly below 3,000 feet. Let's go ahead and cross-check that with our charts. So, Orca 5. Day charts, please. Okay, so straight ahead towards Dryly below 3,000 feet and thereafter on a radar heading. So, Dryly, radar heading 3,000 feet. Thereafter, we proceed. Via Clipper above 10,000, Kex between 13 and 190. And with Clipper 10,000, Kex 13, 190. Towards Cobb, Orca. And thereafter, Navy and Meissen. So we have Cobb 15,000, Orca, Navy, Meissen. Meissen 240, that's probably from the arrival already, so nothing to worry about right now. Okay, initial top altitude, flight level 230. I do like those super high initial climbs, I really do like them. So here we go, 230 is in there. Perfect, then let's continue with our FMS setup. So, copy active, and for the emergencies, it's gonna be Lux emergency, I don't know, make that number 6 or something the likes. And that's from Los Angeles, 24 left on, let's see what track that is gonna be. Airport info chart, and here it is, track 251. Straight ahead for 25 miles, and that's it. So, Los Angeles emergency number 6, here we go. And they're holding at 251 inbound right-hand turns, looks good. And for an immediate return, we will of course come back to Los Angeles via the ILS approach on the runway 24 right. Okay. So that's that. We don't need any nav aids. Los Angeles 2 for left going in here. Then let's go ahead and have a look at our preliminary load sheet in order to do all the performance stuff. So here we go, 148.7. And this, according CG, is 25. And the fuel should be 13.5. Let's just make sure that they actually received that. Yes, they did. Okay, accept. Okay, wonderful. Then fuel to alternate 0.6, 4.8, 2.8. So 0.6, 4.8 and 2.8. And that's just about fine. Alright, perfect. Then, last but not least, let's insert our takeoff performance data, which is flaps 2, 54 degrees, and an up trim at 1 unit. So 2/up 1, flex 48. Sorry, 54 actually. Here we go, that's nicer. And the speeds 159, 161, 161. Alright, reduction in acceleration, we'll do 1000 and 1000 above the ground each. Acceleration 1500 is good. Over here everything's looking good. And now the big question, do we have any problems meeting those restrictions? Yeah. But this does not take into account the radar vectors, so we'll be good. We'll be good. Right, looks like the loading is finished. Refueling is certainly. Well, let's go ahead and start the APU before it starts getting too warm in the cabin. And then I'll start saying hello to our guests. Dear passengers, very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of Delta Airlines. Welcome aboard flight 2658 to Las Vegas. With me in the flight deck, a lot of first officers eager to fly you over, and the cabin today is under the lead of insert nice sounding name here. Flight time expected at 40 minutes with a couple of very nice views along our departure routing. Would like to thank you very much for being a guest. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And they just start doing an announcement at the very same time, of course, because why not? Alright, company message. That probably means our load sheet is here. And indeed it is. Okay, 148.7, it's in compliance. And we have 148.7. Okay, CG25, takeoff CG 23.8. And we have 23.8 somewhere up here. Yeah, up trim 1.2 or something along those lines. Right, takeoff weight 161.7 versus 161.8. That agrees, 192 passengers on board. Alright, up trim 1.2. And here we go, everything now entered. Wonderful. Alright then, let's go ahead and do our takeoff briefing, and then I'd say we can get ourselves on the way. Okay, Los Angeles 24 left, Orca 5 departure, climbing level 230. MSA wise, 3000 is safe over the water, but to the north we have mountains. Extra fuel should be roughly 0. 8 minutes. Alright, no hotspots, stop margin over 1000 meters. Engine out, sit straight at 25 miles, immediate return to Los Angeles is possible, we are below the max landing weight. Nothing special or non-standard, you have any threats? No? Beautiful. Then let's go ahead with the cockpit preparation checklist, please. And while we're doing that... Let's get him to prepare our aircraft for the pushback. Okay, cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 13,500 pounds. Balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs. Nav. Barrel rev. QNH 2987. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, looks good to me. Then let's go ahead and get our clearance. Fortunately, ATC went offline, so we gotta do without. Ground flight deck, go ahead. So please confirm doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed and bypass pin is installed. It's all confirmed, Captain, and we're ready to push. Roger, stand by. Okay, connecting right now. So let's dim those lights down a little bit. I don't like the screens too bright here because they just don't get that bright in the real world. Like, if you look at that, that is really slightly overdone. Something over here, maybe 10 to 11 o'clock position, normally works rather well for those lights during daylight, and more like 9 to 10 o'clock position at night. Okay, so ground flight. No answer. Okay, before start checklist. Park and brake, set, takeoff speed and thrust, V1 159, VR 161, V2 161, flex 54. Windows closed and the beacon on. Before start checklist complete. So, ground flight. Okay, go ahead. So, cleared push and runway 24 left. Park brake set. Roger, release brakes. Brakes released. Start the push, stand by for engines. Stand by. Okay, scheduled off block was 1500 on the hour. It's 14:56. We are on time. Let's see how the pushback is gonna work today. Probably just a simple left-hand turn here and then get us clear of the road. But you never know what you may be up to. That's an interesting angle down here. Certainly not what it should look like. That nose wheel should absolutely turn along. Otherwise, the rubber would probably be reduced to just a couple of scratches on the apron right now. Okay, ground. We are starting engines 2 and 1 in sequence. Engine 2 start. Okay, ground, we've got a good stand 2, standing 1, and the parking brake is set.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta. The health and safety of our customers and crew
Engine 1 start.
is one priority and a shared responsibility of everyone on board. So before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin. Place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you. Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should
Okay, looking good. The engine start is commencing just about fine. Exactly as it should.
As you leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by the top into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight.
We have 2 good starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the sign on the right hand side with a pin and have a wonderful day. Bye bye. Right, engine avail. So, there's the ramp agent. He's holding a pin in the hands. After start checklist, please. Anti-ice, off, ecom status, check, pitch trim, 23.8%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist, complete. It's a fairly short taxi. I do suggest we're gonna do the flight control check right over here. Right, signal received. So, flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Clear right side, clear left side. Easy taxi today, straight at Delta, Delta 7, Echo, to the full length for runway 24 left. Brakes off. Brake check. Pressure 0. And off we go. So, just about 20 minutes from 0 to taxi. I'd say that is quite a good setup. Okay, let's change that taxi route slightly. We'll go left over here at Delta 9 and then a right-hand turn on to Echo up there to the holding point. That way we don't block any aircraft that is running on those terminals over here. So the scenery, in case you're wondering, is from Indie Builds Los Angeles. In my opinion, the best Los Angeles scenery released to date. And I am surprised to say that I actually do get quite good performance here as well. Okay, clear on the left side, clear on the right side. We'll go right over here. So, sounds like they're just about done with the safety demonstration. Then we should get the cabin ready here any moment. Just waiting for the cabin signal then. And there it is. Okay, taxi checklist.
Number 1 for takeoff. 5 minutes, please prepare for departure.
Yep, thank you. Don't need to call us anytime once you've given the ready signal here. So, taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting, conf 2. Radar and predictive wind shear on an auto. Engine start selector, norm, ECA memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. So we do have figures for the full length. I don't have any changes to the takeoff briefing. We'll see about the radar vectors. I think it's probably going to be vectors to the left after we get airborne. I don't think they do vectors to the right here in many cases. Even though we are departing on the northern runways, but, well, let's not worry about that too much, shall we? Okay, nothing on the approach. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 24 left, Echo 6. Pax. Sorry, TCAS. TARA, PAX 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. Get a little bit uphill over here, let's make sure we don't get too slow. And then I'd say runway 24 left, clear for takeoff. Wow, look at that. 35% N1, and I can barely get the aircraft uphill. How much power do we need? 50%. You are absolutely not supposed to use that much on the ground. Right. Now we are uphill. Man, that speed is still decreasing pretty quickly. Okay. Doesn't look that bad when you look at it from the outside. There is a little slope here, but man. Okay, ready? Take off. Man flags 54, SAS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Man, bumpy runway here. 100 knots, checked. Wondering if it's that bumpy on the real Los Angeles. Maybe. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Nav, checked. And here we go. First line climb, alt 3000 magenta. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Okay, pull heading 200. Let's just go out to the left for a little. Open climb heading. Flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. Okay, we'll gain a little bit of altitude over the Bay Area, and thereafter we'll make a left-hand turn back towards the airport in order to intercept our route towards Las Vegas. Just gotta make sure we got that 10,000 restriction over at Clipper, and we want to make sure that we're actually able to meet that. Alright, turn left heading 100. And further left direct to Clipper. Nav. Push altitude. Okay, climb nav alt 19,000 magenta. Let's take this turn a little bit tighter than what the FMS has calculated down there. Even though I'm not following the flight director, it does look like we're following the route rather fine down here. I'll turn it towards Clipper. We can see the direct heading on the top up here, and once we're inbound to Clipper, I am just going to update the direct once more. But this really doesn't look too shabby here. Some people keep asking me why I'm hand flying so much in the sim and not using the autopilot. The answer is because hand flying is just a lot more fun. And when I say a lot, I really mean a lot more fun. And really, I do fly that much in the real world as well. Alright, update that direct. Interesting line drawing here. Passing 10,000. So we'll keep the lights. We'll release the passengers after the turn. We do still need the restrictions. Then clear and copy, please. Don't need the engine outrouting. We don't have any nav aids here. Okay, copy active. And cruising 270, optimum 360. That looks quite good to me. Not sure why the flight director wants to turn with less bank. We're actually overshooting here, so we need more. Ignoring the flight director for now. This is probably better. About to re-intercept the route. Yeah, this is looking good. Autopilot 1. So, turn completed. Seatbelts off.
On today's flight in the economy cabin, you'll have your pleasure of offering complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh needs items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available, complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the main cabin. A complete listing of available beverages, as well as our fresh needs items, can be found in the menus in your seat pocket.
Alright, well, we are not gonna buy anything from the menu here, so that shall not be of our concern. Now, as I said in many videos before, I do believe that the cabin experience and the passenger experience that you can get in the Phoenix A320 family is probably the best in business at the moment. From a passenger's perspective, for sure. Alright, going across those mountains over here. MSA. Well, 10.4 in the grid over here, and it's only gonna rise at first. Let's go ahead and have a look at the en route chart. As you can see, 12,900. So 12.9, 10.1. That's roughly what's going to keep us safe here. So 12.9 is the one that counts at first. Let's turn on the train display here. It's not like we couldn't see everything today, so that's nothing to worry about. Alright then, climb flight level 270, and that's going to be our final level. Set, 27,000 blue. Quite beautiful, isn't it? Alright. So, let's see. Top of climb in about 50 miles, top of descent in about 85. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I do expect some marvelous views going into Las Vegas as well today. Hopefully very nice view of the strip on our final, which slowly starts to become one of the favorite views of mine at work as well. Just recently been to Las Vegas again, and it's an awesome approach in terms of the visibility there. Alright, so that's done that. Standard cross check, passing flight level 183 now. Check. So I told you we are going to have a look into the passenger cabin once again on this one. So let's go ahead and do it now. Beautiful business class down here. Now I'm wondering if you can actually do anything down here on the chairs, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like they are really just models. Also very nice to have the curtain over here, isn't it? So let's just go behind that for a moment. And this is what it looks like over here. So I do believe this is premium economy. And then we have the standard wood class back there. And something that we haven't seen in many of our aircraft yet is that we actually have the additional toilet located in the or next to the 3 left door. I can spoiler you a little bit, it does not have an interior. This is what it looks like. But nonetheless, it's very nice to actually have this different layout of the passenger cabin over here. Just gives the airplane that different bit of a feeling there. Though I wonder how that is going to work with the GSX passengers, but I never really bothered too much with them, so I'm not gonna worry about them now. Nice look outside down here as well. We've just been looking out to the left all the time. How about we just go to the right? Maybe take you. You have a good window here. Yeah, that is a nice view outside. Though, of course, nothing too spectacular here. Alright, so going back to the front. Nice model of the loo over here. I like to have things like this. It gives the plane somewhat of a special feeling, doesn't it? Likewise, I'm sure many of you have probably not flown in business class or first class yet, but when you do, and when they do close these curtains, it really feels like... Well, let's close this for a moment. But it really feels like you have your own private jet when you're sitting up here. At least to me it does, every time I fly in business. Of course, we get to do a lot of proceedings in business class, so I am somewhat of a regular visitor. But this is just really beautiful. I do like the models very much. Let's take a seat over here. Enjoy those beautiful views outside. Some low-lying fog. It is early in the morning, around about 8:30 right now. So you could definitely see things like these. Let's just go a little bit further back. You have a good window. You have a very good window, my friend. Nice models over here. What else can you ask for? Alright then, once we have crossed these mountain ranges, we are slowly heading towards the deserted area. Make a quick trip across Death Valley, and then we'll be in Las Vegas already. Very nice cabin model. Very, very nice cabin model. Alright then, let's take a seat. I told you already, we are going to fly over some deserted areas right now. And I have to say, those are some of my favorite areas to fly over in the simulator now. Now why is that? Well, anybody knows what a city looks like. And even though they do look a little different in the US than they do over in Europe, basically city is city. However, when you're flying over areas like these, you have all those little landmark features. There's just a lot of variety in the nothing that we see over here. And I do like that. It may just be that I'm simply not so used to flying over areas like this. And that is probably why they fascinate me, but they really do. Same thing when we're flying long haul going over Africa, north to south. You know, ever-changing terrain, huge deserts. I just like it. So, 2,000 more feet to go, and we're above 18, so the landing lights can go off. That saves a bit of fuel as well. Alright, and then at Meissen we're already going to enter our arrival route, so let's just work ahead a little bit and start finding that. Okay, so that's our arrival over here. And then for the approach we got 26 left via the Zulu. I do believe they use the Yankee as well from time to time, but that shall not be our concern right now. It's most likely just going to be visual approach anyway, so really not all that concerned. Okay, so is that the right chart? Not really, huh? Even though that is what they planned. No, that can't be the right chart. Let's just have a look into the flight plan again. Oh, it isn't the right chart, because it is the wrong star. Alright. Told you so. Here we go with our Randazzo 2 arrival. Yeah, that looks better. That matches the direction where we come from. Okay, so make it short. Meissen level 240. And we've got Mach Altruce. Interesting position of the plan view. That's not where it should be. Okay, so Meissen level 240. Teddy, water above 190. On towards Toads. And then I have to see. For 26, it's probably going to be to the right here. Okay, so we have Toads, then we've got Randazzo between 190 and 13,000 at 250 knots. And then via Rumley, Baum, and roaming. Actually, no. It is slightly different. So they go via Grandma here. Well, that's fine. Grandma, Beauty, Envy, and then into the downwind. So, Grandma. No restriction, and Beauty above 12.5 and Envy above 11. And that's what we have. Okay, into the downwind. 26 transitions C inside. Here they are. Okay. Red Queen, Twaffle, and Bourbon. 210 knots, 9,000, 8,000. And that's exactly what we have. On to the final approach then, for runway 26 left, I expect. We have that in here. From Shant 4,800. We could have taken the pre-no transition. Let me actually add that to the plan. So, pre-no is in. Just a quick check to make sure we didn't mess anything up. Yeah, all still there. Very good. Alright then. Trino, 8,000, 210 knots, down the final, Larry 6.5, Shan 4.8. And that's what we have. Down towards Rallin 3,800, 3-degree glide, minimum's 2269, and the missed approach is climb 3,200, then climbing right under 6,000, heading 080, and inbound Boulder VOR, radial 287 to the VOR, and hold, climbing in hold to 6,000. So let's have a look at that. We have 3,200, then heading 080, and then course 107 inbound to Boulder VOR. That's alright. The only problem here is that this should of course draw the turn like that, and then down towards Boulder. So we'll have to see. What we cannot tell here is whether it wants to do a left or a right-hand turn on the heading 080. It needs to be a right-hand turn. So the missed approach routing should look something like this. But looks like that may be a general problem here with the A321 since the latest update, because on our previous flight, the missed approach wasn't drawn correctly either. Okay, in any case, let's go ahead and start our descent first. So, what's the first restriction? 240. Here we go. Thrust idle descent, alt flight level 240 blue. Well, thereafter we have 190. And as far as I recall, last time I went to Las Vegas, they just cleared us all the way down to 8,000. So that's 8,000 set. Alt flight level 240 magenta. Let's just catch that profile again. Half speed brake should be sufficient for that. Alright, and then back onto our FMS profile. I'll take a Boulder in here, and the 107 inbound to there as course. So, Vegas 26 left. 260 descent speed. That is rather slow, but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do something like that. So, we'll just keep that. Rubber weather into Las Vegas. 080 at 3, 21 degrees, 2987. So 2987 is checked. Approaching the profile, speed, and speed brake is going back in. So 2987, 21, 080 at 3. It is a little bit of tailwind, but that is nothing to be surprised about. They do that a lot in Las Vegas. So 2269 is the minimum. And that's it. Okay, I tell you what, we are going to do a config 3, or are we? Let's just check the runway length here. So 26 left. Into here, vacating to the right. 3,200 meters available, so that is not a problem. Let's do a little bit of mathematics here. 26 left. Landing weight, 158,000 pounds. I'll make that 158 exactly. Right, low auto brake, conf 3 manual thrust. Looks just about alright. So, conf 3, low 3. So, for the go-around, MSA, yeah, that's all above our missed approach altitude. So, if we have an engine failure on the approach, we need to go around. We are gonna climb 6,000 before accelerating. And that's it. 9 minutes extra, not too shabby, not too much, not too little, and that's it. Okay. So, I think this pretty much all looks good. Then let's go ahead and start with our approach briefing, please. Okay, MSA, something up to 12,000 really. We are flying the Randasa 2 arrival for an ILS Zulu 26 left, effectively most likely a visual approach. Minimums is 2269, go around trajectory straight at right hand turn, kilometer 6000, extra fuel 9 minutes. I agree on all of those. It's going to be a manual approach, flight director guidance, manual thrust, landing config 3. Stop margin, we are looking at something in the region of about a couple thousand feet. Maximum reverse and low auto brakes. Vacating the runway to the right, no hotspots for the taxi. Do you have any specials or anything non-standard here? No, wonderful. Threats? Terrain? Yep. And I am going to use the terrain display to mitigate against that. Also, we should be able to see everything. Any questions? No? Beautiful. In that case, our briefing is complete. Okay, I will do the PA. Ladies and gentlemen, from flight deck again, this is your captain speaking. We've started our descent towards Las Vegas, remaining flight time now about 20 minutes. The weather in Las Vegas currently, temperature 21 degrees Celsius and quickly going up. Thank you for choosing Delta Airlines for today's flight. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board a future scheduled sector. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to see you again soon. Alright, passengers taken care of. So, we're reaching the 250 knot restriction, but more often than not, I've actually seen ATC disregard that restriction and assign higher speeds manually. So, tell you what, let's do that very same thing. Let's do 300 knots here. That's flight level 90 magenta. Nice acceleration here with the engines all the way at climb thrust while descending the aircraft. Right, seatbelts on. Company message. You are not gonna get a delay report today, my friends. And you don't need one. Perfect. So, a lot of nothing down here, but the nothing can actually look pretty interesting. I always find it interesting just to look at all the features in the terrain down here, and then imagine if the other parts of the States, or basically anywhere else in the world, would look the same if it just didn't have all the vegetation on it. But I'm pretty sure it has to be like that. Okay, set QNH. QNH 2987 cross-check, passing 18,100 now. Checked. Lights going on. And then we have Vegas coming up over there. Really a pretty short flight. 28 minutes in the air right now, already in the descent, and not that much further to go. So some people have asked me in the past, why do we get 9,000 in magenta over here, with the lower altitude set on the FCU, even though there are a couple other restrictions in front of that? And that is actually a very good question, which is easy to answer. Let's say that we had a higher restriction here at Beauty. Let's say this was, for example, 15,000. Then it would probably go 15,000 magenta because it would level off at that restriction. But as long as it does not level off for the restriction, it's not going to turn the number amber down here. So that's about how this works. So now we know, by looking at the instruments, since 9,000 is the restriction that the Airbus has chosen down here, we are not going to level at Beauty or at Envy. But we are going to overfly them higher than what's actually written on here. And we can confirm this looking down at the flight plan page. You can see Beauty 13,153, Envy 11,371. So each of them above the restrictions in question. You've got to be a little bit careful if you fly an arrival like this and ATC cleared you down to a lower altitude early and you're counting on the descent mode on VNAV to guide you along the arrival. If you now take a radar vector to avoid, let's say, a couple clouds, for example, or to avoid a couple of build-ups, then the airplane is going to revert from descent mode into vertical speed mode, but that is going to change the altitude down here. Let me show you that. I'm going to pull heading right now. You can see it went into vertical speed, but it now shows us 8,000 down here. Alright, and if we now go back to nav, and nav engaged, you can see it stays in vertical speed. So now the aircraft would bust any of those restrictions if we change the vertical speed in question. So let's push our altitude knob in to go back into descent mode, and only now it's back into alt magenta and 9,000 magenta. That's a little gotcha that can easily get you a phone call if you do it wrong in an Airbus. I think I can see the airport over there. Or is that the airport or is that the Air Force Base? That might as well be the Air Force Base that's close by. Actually, I think it is. The approach along all those mountains close to Vegas looks incredibly impressive in the real world. Oh, a little bit of lagging here as we're heading back to the front. Alright, there's the strip. And there's our airport. Okay, let's go ahead and start our speed restriction. Speed reduction is what I should say. Speed 250. Thrust idle. Approach checklist. Baroref, QNH 2987. Seatbelts on, minimum. Baro 2269. Auto brake, low, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete. So, 210 knot restriction at Red Queen. Okay, let's go managed. More drag. I disagree with you for now. We should have plenty of space to reduce here. Alright, and there we are, Las Vegas, baby. So, I do believe this is probably the Rio, or this. I think this is the Rio, where they had the expo. Okay, passing the 9,000 restriction, speed is coming back. Let's go ahead and help it a bit. The target is 210. I'm perfectly happy to take those 215, which is green dot speed here, so that we don't need the flaps. Okay, speed brake back to half. And speed brake back in. Okay, continue heading 060 and descend, correction, heading 080 and descend altitudes 4,800. Thrust idle, open descent heading. Sequence the flight plan. Let's do it from Shand. Insert. Pull heading. Heading. Okay then, very good. Approaching Lake Mead. Where is Hoover Dam again? That's the one I always forget about. I always see it on each landing into Las Vegas, but I always forget where to find it. I think it's over here? Well, we're not gonna go over it today, so let's start our left-hand turn here. Heading 350 onto a base lag. Vertical speeds, minus 800. I have a feeling we should just be sure that we don't go far below the glide slope over here because of those mountains, but any mountain we can see is not a threat. The threat is only what we can't see. Manual flight. Okay then, cleared visual approach. Flight directors off, bird on. Let's start the turn to the final. Flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. Looks like we are going to have a little bit of a tailwind on the approach. That was expected though. Localizer alive. Slightly through the center line, not a problem. They are not conducting parallel approaches on this one. Okay, flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. So, up there is our airport and our runway. A little bit hard to find under certain circumstances. Okay, set runway track. 259 is set. Go around altitude 6000 set. Gear down. You can see that here in Vegas, it is sometimes rather hard to slow the aircraft down on the final. Checked. Right now we're still doing 190 knots, we're 8 miles out, so we are doing rather well, but especially in high summer season, it often gets really gusty and you have a lot of thermals combined with that as well. Flaps 3, speed checked, flaps 3. Right, sounds like the cabin is ready. Reset that. So, conf 3, 147 knots. Here we are. Landing checklist. Ecam memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. So, with the tailwind we have right now, those little ridges over here can cause some issues, because you can actually get quite a little bit of tailwind shear when you're going above the disruptions that those ridges are causing to the airflow due to the wind. So, beautiful view on the strip on the final. Now Romeo 19 is even better for that. When you fly the visual 19, you must fly it from the FO seat so that you can see the strip to the right. Well, this is definitely the nicer view up here. But I have a feeling we gotta focus on landing now. Now look at that. The glide slope shows that we are hopelessly high. The poppy shows that we are on 3 reds. And I have a feeling that the poppy works a bit better here, because the glide slope does look very, very low. Yeah, the poppy looks alright. Let's keep following that then. Checked.
100. Minimum.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
It's still floaty.
5.
Come on. Right at the end of the touchdown zone. Spoilers, reverse green, decel. Manual brakes. Alright, welcome to Las Vegas. A little bit on the dynamic side here, taking the exit, but sometimes you just gotta do it. So, crossing 26 right, no traffic on the final there. Always a little bit of a threat. And this turn over here is where you can take the best screenshots in Las Vegas. Here we go, our aircraft with the entire strip behind it. Beautiful. So that's what it should look like. Just beautiful, isn't it? Okay then. After landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. So in terms of the parking, we're in Terminal D, down here in stand 34. It's going to be all the way straight, entering here via Charlie 5 and then over the lines to stand 34. Let's see if we can get some ground services here. D34. No follow me. Handling by Delta. Looks good. So this particular taxiway here is quite downhill in the real world, which can become rather nasty. Alright, small shortcut over here onto the inner taxiway. So here we go, that looks like it's going downhill. The problem with that is, later on, towards the gates, you have to go uphill, so you can't shut an engine down for single engine taxi, and with both engines running, you've got so much idle thrust that you are just going to accelerate all the way past 30 knots, which in turn means that you need to apply a lot of brakes, and do that in the summer when you have 40 plus degrees in here, and apply those brakes, and you easily end up with brake temperatures in excess of 400 or 500 degrees, even if you don't use the brakes on the runway at all. So when we land in hot places like this on the A330, what we often do is just to use no auto brake at all and just let it roll out using the reversers. But even just by the taxi, you can get those brakes up to, you know, 400 or 500 degrees, which is really problematic because they don't really cool down that good in conditions like you often have in the summer here in Vegas. Alright, our stand is going to be to the left there. APU is running. Perfect. I do somewhat prefer to do this from the flight deck. It does look and sound great. The wing flex was also looking good, but honestly I prefer where we pilots do sit. Okay, lights going off? No. And you can go off as well. And here comes the gate. Alright, weather radar off, lights off. That's always my standard check when I'm turning into a gate. And here we go, that's looking good. So, the marshaller is in place. Come on. Okay. Brake set, APU bleed on, shutting down. 1 and 2. Cabin crew, all doors in park. So, just 21 degrees. It's nice and early morning. It is gonna get hotter than that. Much hotter. Okay, both engines below 20. Slides are disarming. Here we go. Do they use ground powers here in Vegas? I don't think they do. At least we never get them. We always stay on the APU over here. So let's go ahead and remove that. Okay, parking checklist. Park and brake hot shocks. Brake set, engines off, wing light off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. And here we are, welcome to Las Vegas. I hope you enjoyed this one, I hope you enjoyed the beautiful views on the arrival, and of course Flight Time Pass Las Vegas scenery and Indybuilds Los Angeles sceneries as well. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.